Good evening, race fans. Tonight we will be crowning a new JACKOCAR champion. At the start of the season we had 20 drivers in contention, now we only have 5. 8 regular season races and 4 playoff races have all just been a build-up for this finale at a brand new circuit. We started Kia's second season of racing at Japan, where we saw JACKOCAR rookie Jake Warrior take the first victory of the season. The next 6 races would complete 7 different winners in 7 races, with successful Joker drives in Monaco and Britain. With 3 playoff spots left up for grabs heading into the regular season finale of Belgium, we saw Mr. Second Place, Jamie Bromley, take his second win of the season and was your regular season champion, with surprise of the season, Jess Ball making her playoff appearance debut thanks to a podium at Spa. This led to be one of the most dramatic playoffs I've ever witnessed. A mixed conditioned Brazil saw Yuri Hazelaga take not only his second win of the season, but his 4th in JACKOCAR, sending him straight to the top of the all-times win list in Kia Series. The streets of Singapore would send 3 drivers packing in dramatic fashion. Race 1 winner and Joker driver Jake Warrior left it all out on track as a puncture ended his championship charge. Retirement on track for Chris Morris would see Jess make it to the round of 7 by 2 points after running out of fuel on the final lap. Her persistence paying off yet again. Round 11 at Bahrain would secure the first 3 Championship 5 spots, with Rookie of the Season so far Gareth Hall joining Yuri and Jamie in the Championship 5. They were separated by just 2 points going into Austria. This left 2 spots, 1 in the playoffs and 1 through the chase. Last season's chase champion Niels Havagata was looking for back-to-back appearances in the Championship 5 through the chase yet again, and with a strong performance in the playoff season it was inevitable that he would secure that spot. This left 4 drivers fighting for the final position in the Championship 5. A hectic end to the playoffs saw Cameron Blair take victory ahead of Danny Quinn in Austria, and with that Cameron would see himself into the Championship 5. However, due to his unavailability to race this evening, rookie Danny Quinn would see himself sail into the Championship 5, joining Yuri, Gareth, Jamie and Niels to race around Portimao here for the season finale. I'm your commentator, Peter Nyden, and joined with me in the commentary box is your regular Cup season commentator and league owner, it's Jacko.
Good evening, Peter. Good evening, everybody. And what an intro that was, Mr. Knighton. Great to be here. Kia Series Championship 5, the second one. Who will replace SD Mats as the champion? Who knows? And as you alluded to earlier, before we went live, anything and probably everything will happen at Portimao.
It will indeed. The season so far has been one of the most chaotic I have had to witness. Safety cars left, right and centre. No one could predict who was going to go through to the Championship 5. However, we have 5 drivers ready to battle it out here at Portimao. 33 laps lie ahead of them, and anyone can take the championship.
Absolutely. I mean, let's look back over who's won the races. Of course, Gareth, Yuri and Jamie, the main 3 protagonists in this. You've got Quinn coming into it at more or less an unknown quantity, filling in from Camo Babo to this evening. And of course, Nils not won a race this season, but who knows. Just waiting on a couple more drivers, but I think we'll be underway shortly to get the show on the road.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race to witness. I understand the Constructors was wrapped up last week, and it was Team Turtle Legs that took the championship. Spencer, Quinn, Cloud and Liam New were the drivers of that team, I believe, and they get themselves a championship trophy, Jacko? I'm not sure how the Kia Series
budget
works. I know you offload it all into the Cup Series.
I don't know what you mean by Kia budget doesn't exist.
Yeah,
no, Kia Series constructors or teams champions, they do get the little plaque, the 4 of them, to display somewhere on their desk in front of their PlayStation. But yeah, the budget is a little bit different to Cup, let's say. But there's also a 2/3 scale trophy for whoever wins a championship this evening. And what else do they get? I think they get a JACKOCAR hat, stickers, magnets. Yeah, a nice little bundle. So
all the goodies.
Absolutely. It's either going to go to somewhere in England or somewhere in the Netherlands. Only 2 countries represented tonight, as the lobby has now readied up. And Pete, a bit of a long wait, this evening with qualifying. I think we've got a gap of 3 spaces, because it's meant to be 3 commentators, so 3 spaces. Then Jamie on his own, and then a gap of another 2 before we get the next car out. But these drivers for now, see if they can get their final qualifying laps of the evening perfected around it. It's a very tricky circuit, actually, isn't it, Baltimore?
Yeah, it's labelled as a hard one, according to Codemasters. And I agree with that, because I'm not a fan of this track. I really struggled with a lot of the uphill undulations, losing the back end. A lot of drivers will probably find that difficult as well. But if you get the setup right on the car, you can control the grip through those corners, and that's where you maximise pace in qualifying. Dry so far.
Dry for now.
We're not sure what the race is. Sorry, Jacko.
That's dry for now, exactly. I think me, you, and OKK, we all wanted a bit of rain sprinkled on this just to liven it up a little bit with its low traction zones. But I don't suppose down here in Kia Series you get the problems like me and Owen do up in Cup, where the timing of the lobby is out by a minute and a half or so. So we would expect Jamie to leave the pits at 15:30. Is that correct?
I'd hope so. Usually I don't really pay much attention at the timers, because I just go in an order and chuck it out whoever's out on track first. Realistically, I don't pay that much attention to whether they go out on time, but usually they are on time and in order.
Fair play. So Kia Series, no budget but no glitches, and Cup Series has everything. That's what we've established here.
Don't seem to appear here.
No. Whilst we do wait for Jamie, let's talk about these qualifying slots. So obviously Jamie, very early, very bold. If it's a dry to wet qualifying, that's a masterclass. And then you've got 3 of them at the very end, and Neil's out, I don't know, a couple of slots before those final 3. So traditionally in Cup Series, and I think Kia Championship 5 last season, they all bunch themselves up, they all go together at the end. But this is, spaced out, if anything.
Jacko, I'm just going to excite you a little bit. I have been informed, and you may read it in chat. Isaac informed me in the comments. There is going to be rain at the end of the race.
That's exactly what we wanted.
And that is a way to end the season. And that could cause so much drama, as long as the 5 championship drivers know who they're racing and how they're going to race, with the other drivers basically just hunting for glory.
Absolutely. And just a few seconds away now until we see Splinter out on track. The first of the qualifiers tonight. We might get a few more join during qualifying and see how we get on.
Yeah, not the greatest attendance. I think it's the worst attendance we've had all season. And I think
for a championship as well.
Might whack some people's ears. But I do like this livery. Nice. He's kept the orange and pink style that he had all season, but a lot more pink and a different style livery in the 24.
We joked in the championship 5 chat that everyone else is going to do a new livery for the occasion, and Jamie's just going to run his orange livery. Obviously the orange has stayed, but it is nice to see some variation on that car. Will it take him to a title? Who knows? Of course, it's his second appearance in the Kia Championship 5, crashing out in Bahrain last season, or did he crash out? I can't quite remember. But he didn't win it. It was Esty Mats on the day. I know Connor, Mike and Nils were also there, making up the 5.
Yeah, new appearance for veteran Yuri as well. He failed to make it into the Championship 5 last season. Was eliminated in the round of 10, I believe, in his first season in Kia. But now he's got a point to prove, making it this far with 2 wins and the all-time win record in Kia Series of 4. A man to beat, and your current favourite commentator's curse coming in now. The money's on Yuri as we see Splinter around the final corner.
We don't have favourites, Pete. Come on.
To start his flying lap, take us through this lap, Jacko.
Okay, so I don't know the names of the corners, and I'm not too good with the numbers. But it doesn't matter, as Pete Knighton says, as Jamie brakes heavy into turn 1. You don't want to touch that yellow curb. It will send you spinning around. Turn 2 rolls into turn 3 is nice and tight one. Up into turn 4 we go. It's a little bit off traction. You've got to be careful with the rear as Jamie struggles. Can he keep it valid? Yes, he does. This is the first DRS zone that you're going to see tonight. Up into turn 5. Heavy braking once again. It's okay traction out of here. And of course, the earlier you get on the power, the better the run. Turn 6 sweeps to the left. Turn 7 can catch you out. I think this is actually turn 7, but we're going to call it turn 8 for now. And very poor traction once again up through there as we head into the middle part of the track. Lovely sweeping part of the track this is. I do enjoy this myself when I race around here. As we come up to the end of Sector 2, naturally it's purple for Splinter as he's kept it valid. And then into Sector 3 we go. It's a nice and tidy lap so far, but he's not setting the world alight. I mean, what are we expecting times to be? I think about 117, maybe a high 116. But this is the final corner. A long, sweeping, old-school Catalonia style. Stick to the right to keep the track as short as possible. And that is P1 for now. 1 minute 18 dead for Splinter.
Provisional pole, and that's where he'd want to be. However, 12 of the drivers have an opportunity to knock him off provisional pole position. I have got a note in the comments from Yuri to check your DMs, Jacko.
Just look him.
Do probably having a word with you. He's having a word with you. He said he probably wants to tell you to stop cursing me. Yeah, Splinter. Yeah, so Splinter first man. Next is Noah. Was left in the chase. A driver who has pace, but not the greatest bit of form as Noah. Caused a massive incident at Bahrain at turn 1 as he attempts the run down towards turn 1. Short shifts into 5th, should go back to 6th through the kink of 2, now to 3 in the number 2. Should he be in the number 2? Is that his number?
No, Camo Babo's number.
Yeah. So
just because Camo's not here doesn't mean you can have it.
No.
Mr. Clark.
Yeah, in a new livery, I believe, once again.
Yep.
Purple first sector. I'm expecting a 17 or maybe a 16 in qualifying towards the end. Obviously, Splinter's the out. Well, what's the word? He's the one who chooses to go out early. Maybe he expected rain to come at the end of qualifying. That reduces the risk because nowhere nearly runs wide. Exit of turn 10.
I was speaking to Splinter earlier, actually. He said he just wanted to get it out of the way with, not bothered about rain or shine. He just hates the track. As we watch Noah come round this final complex of corners. One of 2 American drivers in the league. Was the other one Cam, who failed to make Championship 5 in the Cup last week. With a poor result in Monaco. Up to the line comes Noah. It's good enough only for second, Pete.
18.5. I thought it might have been a little bit quicker because even though Splinter had a lot of mistakes in the lap, it wasn't the cleanest for Splinter, but it was cleaner than Noah. Next is Kaya. Managed to secure his first finish in the playoffs. Yeah, first finish in general, because obviously now if you don't finish the race, you don't get any points. Well, first finish in the playoffs for Kaya, scoring his first points, and what he hopes for this race, realistically, is to finish again.
Absolutely. Interesting livery for Kaya. I like half of it and the other half not so much.
Let me guess, the purple is not your fan, but the orange, the red and the blue is.
You know me too well.
Yeah.
JACKOCAR colours on the midsection of that car. One hub on the front. Should we move away from him so we don't have to see it, or just ride on board? Oh, it's even more purple. Anyway, Kaya will begin his lap, the third driver to start one. We are missing 2 so far, but it doesn't matter for the moment. Again, into turn 1 comes Kaya.
It doesn't run wide. Yeah, you mentioned that yellow sausage curb on the inside of turn 1. I've hit that before, and it's not a nice curb to hit, especially with simulation damage. There is a risk of getting floor damage and side pod damage and rear wing damage. And in JACKOCAR, when we allow damage. A little bit, we allow a little bit more contact, but at the risk of you damaging your own car.
Of course, that turn 1 curb is where your teammate Mr. Sullivan Lewis, and co-commentator actually, Mr. Sullivan Lewis, pinched Kyle twice in the same race during the playoffs. And caused 2 spins for the ART man.
Yeah, luckily Kyle, I believe, was quite comfortable on points anyway. Not to say it was an acceptable thing to do, but I'm just saying it didn't cost him as much as it could have done if he was at risk of being knocked out, as it was a race in the playoffs. Kaya then to the line, 18.0 is the target. It's going to be a 20.4, but it is a lap completed. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Next.
Of course, Kaya very much on his way to improving, isn't he? He was a good 10-11 seconds off at the start of the season, but you see now he closes that to 3 to 4 seconds as the season's gone on. So vast improvement from Kaya.
Yeah, a little bit more racecraft has been developed for Kaya. Oh, that's wide from Newgarden, but it's purple and it's kept it valid. You do allow the expulsion of track limits if you get away with it.
Correct.
And you don't allow it for overtaking for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's JACKOCAR rules for you. Newgarden in the orange of the Netherlands or the orange of JACKOCAR, and that's an invalidation.
I watched that line on board. Well, not on board. The camera angle was perfect to see him invalidate that. I'm not sure why he's done that. Newgarden, you've let yourself down there.
Very poor. No Michael O'Sullivan in the lobby yet. I think he might be stuck in Abu Dhabi, actually. Of course, he was at the race at the weekend, but we don't talk about that race, do we?
No. Oh, it's a good job we haven't got Owen Wyatt in this commentary box, because it might get into a heated debate without this being a dramatic race. So, the Swedish driver of Kingdom then had a strong Austria Grand Prix and the race before that as well at Bahrain, but picked up too many penalties at Bahrain, and I think he got a few too many penalties at Austria as well, because he crossed the line in P1 and P3 in those races, but only accumulated like P5 and P12 due to the penalties. But he has form. Well, he doesn't have form yet. He has pace. We can't quite find the form, but up to the line. See if he can beat an 18.0. Yet to be beaten yet in this session, and not beaten yet. Surprising everyone is Splinter with that 118.0.
118.0 wouldn't get him very far in the Cup Series. It'd be certainly topped by now as we move to Indecisive. Of course, podium last week, his first in JACKOCAR. He's been here since day one, starting in the Cup Series, finding his way down to the Kia Series now. But a podium for Indecisive nonetheless. That's an achievement, and surely a successful season, also making it into the playoffs.
Yeah, excellent drive. Indecisive all season. Was a little bit unfortunate at Singapore. I think a strategic call ruined that for him. He came to the pits towards the end. He was on hard tyres, came into the pits in second place to put on softs, and that dropped him all the way down to 10th. I think if he'd kept that second place and with a gap of like 13 seconds behind, could have held on and snatched it away from Jess even. But the slowest time on the board for Indecisive, a 22.4. Another driver
must have had a moment earlier on that we missed, but not to worry.
Next then, our second Championship 5 driver, through from the chase yet again. Dutch driver in the 84. Black and green livery. It's Neil's. And purple first sector.
Chris has just come up to the line, Pete. Sorry to interrupt that.
Oh, whoops.
You might have missed him.
I'm jumping ahead.
It's P1. It's P1. Now it's Nils.
Oh, no. Luckily, I caught him to the end of the line.
There you go. As you were saying, the black and green car, the 84. It's Nils from the Netherlands.
No offence to Cloud. But if you do win the race, it will be forgotten because Jamie did win the one in China. And it was forgotten about. Riley won the one in Brazil, and it was forgotten about.
You remember China, don't you?
Of course I remember China. I love China. Nils then, 17.5 to beat, but crucially it's an 18.0 is the time he wants to beat. Up to the line. Where does this Neil go? It goes P2, and it's ahead of Splinter.
Next up, Jess, running the pink once again. This is in... what's the word? Remembering her season 1 roots where she ran that pink car. So you'll see this tonight, and you'll see this on Thursday.
Yeah, another driver that's in both Cup and Kia. She volunteered herself, actually, didn't she, in the Kia Series chat when you asked for drivers to race in Cup.
You know what? She's held her own as well, hasn't she, up in Cup Series?
In Kia Series as well, her driving ability has improved dramatically. Her pace still might not be there, but her racecraft
is fantastic now.
So much more better, and a lot of the guys that I race with, obviously Newgarden and the Speed guys, agree that Jess has improved in her racecraft with the battling she's produced. She produced at Brazil as well. 19.6 puts her 6th. No threat at the moment. 2R2 Championship 5 drivers who have already set laps.
Here is a certain Mr. Baldwin. He's been in JACKOCAR since day one as well. Unlucky to miss out on this season's Kia playoffs. Like he was unlucky to miss out on the season 1 Cup Series playoffs, which he lost by a point with a puncher at Austria. But up to the line comes Barry, and it's only P6. Still looking for his first ever league racing pole. Not just JACKOCAR, league racing pole. He's never had one in about 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Again, we must move on.
If he's not a quali man, he's a race man.
100%.
So then, three left to set quali times. Quinn, Yuri, and Gareth. First we have Quinn, new livery, speed blue, and setting the timings alive as he has done in practice and in TT. This could be a good time, but we'll only find out when he crosses the line. In the 45, rookie this season. Is it provisional pole? When it is, with a 17.2.
Quinn easily invalidation for Yuri. I was just going to say Quinn easily the fastest man on paper out of the Championship 5. But what a shame for Yuri as he invalidates his qualifying lap. He will start from last on the grid. The only advantage he has, obviously wet race, and there's only 13 cars, Owen. Pete, sorry. God, there's a force of habit.
That is a force habit.
You've got to do the accent now.
No, I will not only embarrass myself, I will embarrass my heritage as well. Because they are from Northern Ireland. So we won't go there. So then, Yuri invalidated, unfortunate for him, will be starting last, but doesn't have that much traffic in between him and the rest of his championship rivals. Gareth then will get a whole lap, essentially, in the green and white. A man in form, essentially, going into this race, and chose the last quali slot available for quali. The 89 was looking to put on a show, I heard.
In the Championship 5 chat, he said he was ready for war at the beginning of the week.
He put a tweet out. He said, if it happens, it happens, realistically. But if he's ready for war, I'm ready to watch it. Just don't go whacking them into a wall, please.
Of course, drivers are encouraged to race hard but fair. We expect Will Banging. We encourage the contact. That is what JACKOCAR's about. Hybrid League, that's what you get when you mix Formula 1 and NASCAR. But Gareth looking to become a champion in his rookie season. He's swapped out the John Deere colours but he's kept the green and he's added some white. What can he do? The man from the south of England, Gareth Hole, goes P2. It's not enough, and that puts Quinn on pole for the Championship 5.
17 thousandths of a second between the two of them. But what you got to remember is usually you'd get a point for pole position. It doesn't matter anymore. There's no points on the line. The higher you finish, the championship is yours. P1, it's obvious, isn't it? P1 gets you the championship. But if the rest of your championship rivals crash, just sail to the finish line. But don't be the one crashing them out. So Quinn's on pole again, a sight we've seen quite a few times this season. But he's only delivered it to victory once this season. Can he do it again at the most crucial part of the season, the time when it counts, the final race of the season? Gareth is going to try and stop him, sitting on the front row with him, with Cloud separating two championship rivals from a further two. Niels and Splinter are 4th and 5th. Then there's a Kington, Noah, Bazza, Jess, Kaya top 10. Indecisive, slowest time on the board. Speed Newgarden and Yuri starting from dead last. A lot of work to do for the Dutch driver.
A lot of work to do, but like I say, he's only starting P13. We saw twice in Cup Series this season Arnaud come from the back to win races. So Yuri can certainly do it from 13th. I have every faith. I still wouldn't like to call a winner from this. First one across the line wins the championship. It doesn't matter if you win it, then nobody's looking for a certain amount of points. You just got to beat the other 4 drivers and you will be champion.
So nice and sunny as it was in qualifying. We expected rain. If there's safety cars, then that'll delay the track time and the weather will come in quicker and will make the race more spicier at the end, especially if it gets wet enough to change tyres. But if you've already done your 2 stops, technically you can go to the end. You could try and do a Lando Norris at Russia and try and go dry tyres, wet track, but that is a risk. Only the bravest drivers are worth taking. If there's 1 lap to go, maybe it is worth it. But if you're on the right tyre at the right time, that wins you championships.
It's the kind of night where a risk like that might just win you a title.
Yeah.
But as you say, it's the bravest. Only the bravest will do that. And then it'll be decided after that whether it's brave or stupid.
So the drivers are picking their strategies, knowing that there is going to be rain. Everyone inside the top 10 is on soft tyres. Free choice tyres. That's a benefit for Yuri. He is going to get free choice of tyres compared to his championship rivals. I'd probably recommend going soft aggressive because you don't want to be sat in traffic for too long around here and let your championship rivals fly away. We'll get a good look at the liveries under formation lap. Out of the 5, Jacko, which one's your favourite?
I was asked this in chat the other day based on a photo, and I said Yuri. As I see them now, for real, I will have to go with Quinn. That little hint of red makes it look like a
logo.
GT version of Yuri's. Yeah, I think that's the one for me.
So Yuri has your vote for the championship, but Quinn has it for livery of the race. 1 starting pole and 1 is starting in dead last. 33 laps. Let's have a look at the tyres for the drivers outside the top 10. All of them on mediums.
And interesting point I'm just seeing here in the YouTube chat from Championship 5 driver Jamie Wright. Of course, you can watch that on Thursday at 7 p.m. The Cup Series live from the Circuit of the Americas. We will decide ourselves another champion. But Jamie, he says the more safety cars we get increases the amount of time that the rain will be out on track for. So, do we want a couple of safety cars? Probably not, because we don't have a lot of drivers in this field.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yes, we do, because imagine at least 10 of these guys struggling about, squirming about in the rain, looking for grip. Imagine
Yeah.
if the rain decides a title as well.
Yeah, it could do.
We've not had it yet.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous, Jacko.
Yeah.
And I'm not racing. And I've done one of these. And I survived one of these. And I had to wait for a steward's decision to get my title. I hope it doesn't come down to a steward's decision this time. Quinn leads the drivers back onto the grid. 4 got disqualified for hitting each other. Well done. That's a good way to round off the season. Kingdom, Noah, Kaya, and Indecisive will be starting on cold tyres. So Yuri's going to have to watch out for them. The rest of the Championship 5 are ahead of them and have the clearest run down towards Turn 1.
Well then, here we go. Season 2 of the Kia Series. Who will take SD Matt's crown? Pete Knighton, this is your moment.
Thank you very much, Jacko. We're waiting for the 5 red lights. Quinn is on your right, Gareth on your left. It's Championship 5 day, and it's boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing down towards Turn 1 then. And really sketchy start for Quinn, but it's cleaner than Gareth as Cloud tries to go round his outside. Niels holding back as Gareth and Cloud battle it through Turn 1 and 2. I don't think Cloud wants to be making contact with the Championship 5 driver. Niels keeping it up to 4.
Splinter around, and Yuri's already up to P8. Sorry to interrupt, Pete.
That's all right. I got back on board with Splinter. He's kept it out the wall. Don't think he's got any damage. Might have side pod damage, but that's not a start he would have wanted. Yuri up to 7th now with a lunge up the inside of not only Kingdon but Noah Clark as well. And he's already up to 6th. Niels and Baz are going side by side through this right-hander. And he's through and holds on to P4. Gareth holds on to 2nd still. And Quinn's already got a 1.4 second lead as the 2 spinners of Noah and Kingdon's synchronized spin up the hill. Luckily, no safety car, no collisions. And that's 2 free positions for Splinter on his recovery drive.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a recovery drive. Meanwhile, from the back, as you alighted to, Yuri, I was on board with him. He had an absolute incredible start. It looked like everybody else was sleeping, but he's put himself in great contention now to stick with the leading pack and go on and make something of this race. Can he get past Bazza in time and then keep up with Nils and try and drag himself back to the front? But Quinn, as you say, has asserted dominance on the first lap. 1.5 seconds, but I think a lot of that taken advantage of those that were having problems behind. As Splinter pits on lap 1. Yellow flags.
Sector 3. A couple of people into the pits. Noah Clark's in as well. Could be for damage. I saw Indecisive and Kaya battling side by side for 9th. Yuri's just got to stay within DRS. Is he going to go for another lunge up the inside, down towards, is it turn 6 or turn 5? The hairpin, where we got Kingdon and Noah. Not this time. DRS activated on lap 3. And as we saw, 2 DRS zones, I believe. 1 down towards turn 1 and 1 down towards turn 5.
Absolutely spot on with that. It was turn 5. It's after that is when I start to struggle to keep up with it.
Yeah.
Bazza runs a little bit wide there and allows Yuri to take the better line. Maybe should have a run as they come back onto the pit straight to begin lap 3, but he's a lot closer now, as you can see. Nils starting to regain the gap that he lost to Cloud, and Cloud is sticking with Gareth, but at the end of lap 2, Pete, Quinn's got a 2-second lead.
He does indeed, and if he keeps this pace up...
And here comes Yuri.
The weaving has begun. Bazza going defensive. No benefit of DRS down towards turn 1, which will benefit Bazza as he runs wide out of turn 1. Gives Yuri the cleaner exit. Lunges up the inside of turn 3. And that's job done. Bazza could go for the switchback, but I think the medium tyres are the tyres to be on now, even though they're only 3 laps in, as Kingdon gets a time penalty.
DRS for Bazza though. Oh, he's going to go to the outside of Yuri. Bazza won't do anything stupid here, and I think that is Yuri safe for the rest of the lap.
Is indeed. You mentioned Niels was keeping with Gareth. I think he's very loose. He's gone back on board with him. Lost a lot of time. Now 2.5 seconds off Gareth. A little bit loose on those soft tyres. He's got to watch out now. Yuri is the next man behind him, and he's going to start hunting him down. Maybe could drag Bazza with him if Bazza can stay within DRS. 1 second window towards the final corner. But yeah, Quinn in control. Yeah, flag sector 3. Who is that? Splinter. He's round.
Splinter again.
Really struggling. He did say he's not a fan of the track. That's Noah through. He's on medium tyres.
That's 2 seasons in a row that he's made the Championship 5 and had shocking starts. There's Noah's round this time. Nils pits from P3. But Splinter
had a spin as well on his mediums. Sorry, Jacko.
That's alright. I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Is Nils pitting again?
Yeah, no, he's come out of the pits. Nils is coming out of the pits.
He's come out of the pits. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong car here.
Yeah. Kingdon pit again, is making his first pit stop after a couple of spins. You mentioned Noah spun again. He's on hard tyres.
Cloud's just gone for a spin at turn 1. He touched that yellow curb we referred to in qualifying. Just for your reference, though, before that spin, he come out behind Nils, so the undercut does work here, or the overcut, I should say.
It did. Maybe I don't know. Because now the gap's 8.3. They pit at the same time, I'm sure, but it's not going to matter now because Nils has got the traffic behind him. Oh, another spinner.
Indecisive just spun. Yep.
Yeah, right in front of Nils as I was on board with him. Luckily, with the way that corner is, if you're going to spin, you're going the right way to getting out of the way of anyone who keeps it on the track.
Of course, I got caught up in an indecisive incident when I raced in this tit at Singapore. He clipped the wall on the exit outside of the grandstand that goes over the track, and I ran over his debris. As we have another spinner, I'm not sure who it is. It's Noah Clark at the rear of the field as Newgarden gets past Jess.
Yeah, nice clean move down towards turn 1. Benefit of DRS. Those two had a little scrap at Brazil, which was nice and clean, and Jess managed to keep Newgarden behind for quite a few laps in that race. Newgarden using the medium tyres effectively, the better grip now, getting by Jess for P5. But at the moment, top 3 are all Championship 5 runners.
Yep, and Quinn, he got that gap up to 2 seconds, but he's not gone beyond that. Gareth has kept him there. He's kept him certainly in the range of the eyes. It's a little bit of a moment on the exit of that corner. And Yori, of course, don't forget, coming through from last on the grid, avoiding all the carnage on the way, is up to P3 and 5 seconds back. But this race, 5 laps in, far, far, far from over. And of course, if you've just joined us, we have rain at the end of it. More yellow flags. It's Indecisive that's gone for a spin again at turn 8.
Yeah, a lot of drivers are struggling at the corner. I feel like they just need to carry less speed through it. That's what's happening. They're trying to turn the car with a lot of speed, and the rear axle's just not got any grip and just sliding the back ends. Luckily, the drivers... Oh, another spin. Same corner again. It's Noah again. Come on, gents. You're going to get lap Noah. This is going to get spicy if Noah intervenes, because Quinn and Gareth are starting to catch up.
They certainly are, aren't they? I talked about that gap on the last lap. Quinn has now extended it to 2.3. So I assume that's a Gareth mistake more than anything, because it was very consistently at 2 seconds for a good portion of this race to begin with. Yori has made no inroads as yet. And Baz in a race of his own, much like a lot of these drivers, actually.
Yeah.
See a lot of field spread as it happens.
Well, we haven't had our first safety car yet. And the only one that will be dreaming for one of them is Niels. Niels and Splinter essentially will be dreaming for a safety car. They've both already made a pit stop. As Quinn now enters the pits, that nullifies the effect if there is a safety car. Helps him
Gareth.
more.
All I was going to say was Gareth leads the end of lap 6.
Oh, Yori's in as well. 6 laps on mediums. Have I done this strategy before? I think I have. 2 sets of softs to the end. I'm going to be pumping in some good times for the rest. Or is he wanting to go quick and fast for the next stint, hoping the rain comes sooner rather than later?
Interesting point, and he comes out behind Nils, as you would expect. Nils has actually had a good beginning of this stint. He's stuck behind Kaya at the moment, though. That won't help. He needs the dispatch of him soon enough. He will have DRS assistance as we head down to turn 5. Kaya looks to defend. That was a bit close, wasn't it? You don't want to be doing that on championship day. But he gets by. So Yori now the next man through on Kaya once he catches up. Pete, you'll know, being in the speed chat, what's the attitude been like between Yori and Quinn? Like, are they going to help each other? Are they going to go all out for the title if they're in that position?
I have warned them. I have said don't go taking each other out. I think they'll respect each other. Obviously, Yori's the CEO, and Quinn's a fairly new driver to the team. I don't think we'll see a Mercedes-style Rosberg Hamilton crash. I hope not. Or a Red Bull Vettel Webber
Turkey 2010, yeah.
Or Baku Ricardo Verstappen style incident. Gareth now into the pits onto the mediums. Undercut for Quinn will extend his lead. Basil will take the lead of the race. Jess is up to second. Quinn in net race lead, and with that undercut is now 5, nearly 6 seconds. And Niels with the undercut is on the back of Gareth, and we're going to see some fights on track, Jacko.
We certainly are. I did look at a bit wide there from Niels. He picks up a penalty. That could be huge. On the pit straight there, Kaya let Yori go. Yori did have the DRS, but he didn't even fight it, did Kaya? So they are now 4 together. Splinter still down in 10th, so you're never out of it in JACKOCAR as we come up on 1/3 race distance. But it's not looking good in the early stages. He's really struggling, isn't he, out of turn 4, is Splinter.
Yeah. Maybe being a little bit too honest in chat, giving away too much information, letting the drivers know that he's going to struggle. Some might say it could have been a red herring, but at the moment, Splinter may need the weather to play a part in his championship.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Kingan at the moment. He kind of wants to make a move, but at the same time he knows who is in front, and that is a championship driver. Of course, you don't want to ruin their season, but he's right on the back of him, maybe waiting for DRS to make a clean move. Fastest lap from Yori. Just a quick note as well, because it's a final race, no stage points. And as you alluded to earlier, you don't get playoff points for poles and fastest laps and being on the podium, but they are still recorded. Here comes Kingan on the back of Splinter to ruin his day a bit more. We have got another spinner at turn 8, but Kingan to the inside for turn 1, and that's going to be an easy move. Gets it done.
Yeah, I was trying to keep an eye on the battle between Gareth and Niels. Niels had DRS, as did Kingan, down towards turn 1. But Niels had dropped back a little bit, and he's fighting to stay within that 1 second window. Yori on those fresh softs, has closed that gap down. It was about 3.5 seconds, maybe more, when he came out of the pits. It's now down to 1.2, as he nearly loses the back end.
Yeah, you saw the same thing as me.
Yeah, I was on board with him. And does he get into DRS? He doesn't. Basil now enters pits. Quinn's now back to effective race leader. Jess is in the pits as well. Let's see then. Niels is out of the 1 second window and doesn't get DRS this time. Starting to struggle, or Gareth's pace is starting to pick up. Got some heat into those mediums. And now Niels has got to worry about his fellow Dutchman behind him hunting him down.
What I do love about this system is with the chase, obviously, it's the guy essentially who finishes 11th at the end of the entire season. But the chase driver always turns up on Championship 5 day and gives us a show. Jordan led the race, China Season 1 in the Cup Series. We had Janel last year, finished 3rd on track. Iceman went to Brazil, and if it wasn't for problems with Jordan, with his internet connection, he would have been right up there in the top 5. And of course, last season it was Nils who put on a good show at Bahrain. We're yet to see a chase driver win a championship, but they certainly do turn up.
They do indeed, and they're not a driver to be. They're a driver to be scared of, should I say? Because even though they didn't make the playoffs, they had nothing really to lose going forward in the playoff rounds. They just had to accumulate the most points and securing a spot in the Championship 5. Yuri now has DRS. Niels does not. He's dropped away 1.5 seconds. Will Niels make this difficult on his fellow Dutchman? Down towards turn 1 then. Well then, did Niels just let him go?
No was the answer to your question. Yuri gets the job done before turn 1.
Maybe just because it's early in the race and Yuri's on softer tyres. Niels might be playing the strategic card. Get DRS now and try and hang with Yuri. It is a lot lower on ERS than Yuri.
It's a long way to go as well.
Yeah, Gareth's got the most ERS of the top 4. Quinn's just keeping it cool out front. 6.6 the gap. And yet to get our first safety car. Ooh, on board with Gareth.
Whoa.
Up the hill. Loses the back end. And that could give Yuri an opportunity to sneak into DRS. I'm not sure where the activation point is. Or not the activation, the detection point is as the end of the lap. But Yuri really want to get into that window sooner rather than later, because those tyres are going to die off a lot quicker than the mediums. And Yuri will be making a pit stop sooner than them as well.
So that little moment for Gareth is certainly going to give Yuri some encouragement, but he has just dropped away through this third sector as Gareth has gathered himself up and will survive a DRS attack. But look how Yuri has dropped Nils in just one lap there. Like you say, could be playing the long game here as Nils, maybe waiting for the wet weather, and that will really spice things up later on. But it's Quinn at lap 12 leads by nearly 7 seconds. Nils with another penalty though.
That's not going to help him if it comes to a late safety car and the field is bunched up. That penalty, 2 of them, 6 seconds is quite a lot of time. If a safety car bunches up, that could send you from first to last. And it's all about where you finish and the first one to cross the line. You may be the first to cross the line, but that's not going to count if you have penalties.
Just as our good friend Mr. Smith found out in Season 2. And of course it was Jamie Wright who went on to win that championship, taking the crown from you. That pit lane speeding penalty, we don't talk about that. That pit lane speeding penalty for Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle doesn't want to talk about that. To be fair, I did have a 10-second time penalty removed as well to get my championship title. However, that was...
It was 3 seconds, wasn't it? I thought back then.
No, I got a 10-second time penalty. For that safety car restart in China. I remember it all. It was the most stressful race of my entire career.
I have watched it back once or twice, your view and the stream. Another spinner. It looks to be indecisive who's going to be on the racing line as Gareth comes around. And stays out the way. What about Yuri? Yeah, he's just going to go straight on. Is indecisive. Good awareness, knowing what's at stake for these boys up front.
Lap down as well. You don't have to get out of the way for blue flags, but indecisive, being a gentleman and not getting away. It's not his fight.
Oh, he's spun before turn 8. He's going to slide across the track. Oh, that was almost Nils taken out there. I think indecisive had it slowed down just enough. Oh, not his race, is it?
No, that was nearly chaos. It flick spins it on the apex. Will that bring out a safety car? If a yellow flag's out there consistently for a car going slow on track, that is a possibility for a safety car. I'm not too sure whether there will be one. King and Jess, yellow flag's gone. Indecisive's back on track. Hot soft tyres. Jess defending from King and then coming up to the back of Indecisive.
Oh.
It's gone again.
That was Indecisive getting out of the way, wasn't it? Yep. Splinter. Oh, Splinter just passed his Indecisive as I joined him. Don't know about you, Pete, but yeah, he's still struggling down in 10th, making no inroads whatsoever. Kingan's dropped him by 5 seconds since we last mentioned him. That was only a few laps ago. Cloud and Bazza. Sorry, Cloud and Newgarden having a nice little battle.
Bazza and Newgarden. You nearly got there.
What did I say? Oh, Cloud and Newgarden, no.
You said Cloud and Bazza, and then you said you said Bazza and Cloud, and then you said Cloud and Newgarden.
It's not my tier. You can tell.
I'll let it slide.
Thank you. Baza and Newgarden having a nice little battle down there in P6 then. Try that.
That's better. Yuri now,
Thank
within
you.
the 1 second window. Kingdon up the inside of Jess into the hairpin. And better traction, even on the older tyres for Kingdon. Gets through to P8. Yuri's in the DRS of Gareth, by the way. And they're heading down towards turn 1. Yuri doesn't have a lot of ERS compared to Gareth. Gareth will be able to defend, and he's using that ERS now. Yuri then in the slipstream, in the DRS. I don't think there'll be a move down towards turn 1. He's quite far back, but this is just really dragging Yuri along as Baza picks up a 3-second penalty.
Gareth utilising his ERS perfectly there to defend from Yuri. All this though allowing Quinn to just eke out his advantage up front, but Yuri's still there, isn't he? He will not be dropped, making the most of these soft tyres.
Double dose of DRS helped as well.
Yep.
If you get
Can
one,
he be there at the end of the lap? Oh, I can't watch it, that corner.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking seeing the drivers go through it, and you know you've seen at least 3 or 4 of them lose the back end. Hopefully the drivers that need to keep it facing the right way do so to give us the action and the drama towards the end of this race. At the moment then, Quinn in control as we head towards half distance. Is it starting to get a little bit cloudy, or is that just my eyes?
I think it might be your eyes, but Yuri a lot closer this time. You don't need glasses for this one, Pete. Will Gareth use his ERS once again? Yuri's certainly in the DRS as they weave. You can do that multiple times in JACKOCAR. I think it might be a done deal as we head up towards turn 5 on the next time. But yeah, he's so much closer, within half a second now. Now or never, Yuri, before those tyres really start to fade away.
Seems to be a little bit more confident on the brakes. Doesn't get the cleanest of exits out of 4, but down towards turn 5. Gareth doesn't go defensive. Brakes later than Yuri. Very deep for Gareth. Will Yuri get the exit? No DRS on exit. And Gareth will hold on for another lap.
This is the infamous turn 8. Gareth has another moment there. He's not liking that corner, is he, at all? But he just allows Yuri to comfortably sit behind him and wait for the next DRS zone. Yuri being the clever racer, he will wait for that DRS rather than launching it down the inside unnecessarily. And now I think he's perfectly positioned to get him this time around, as Quinn will lead the end of lap 16 going into 17. Good exit from Gareth though.
Using his ERS. He's got loads to play with, Gareth. Yuri hasn't got the ERS to attack. Gareth's got the ERS to defend. And that's what keeping it at bay. Quinn lost a little bit of time there. Yuri runs wide. He's going to have to be careful.
Yes. Doesn't
want to follow Niels' path of getting time penalties. But I think it's going to be a recharge and go again kind of lap for Yuri. Unless he can take an opportunity, as he knows Gareth struggles on the exit of turn 8.
So this is the fight now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing else going on, and it's 2 of the championship drivers giving us all the show.
The gap is coming down. Maybe Quinn's just being a bit more conservative, saving some ERS, but it was over 7. It's now 6.5.
Yeah, very surprising actually. Those mediums, they're a good race tyre. You don't really lose time. Yellow flags. It's
Baza.
Newgarden and Baza, but mainly Baza.
Yeah, they were battling. Baza managed to stay ahead and now lost position. Look at the cloud formation, by the way, Jacko. It is very dark on.
Oh yeah, now
it's very dark.
Now I agree with you.
And now there's 16 laps to go. And
see what this does is it puts Yuri in a bit of a predicament. I mean, he's gone onto the softs. Can those softs hold on until the rain, or will he go again for another set? Because people like Gareth and Quinn, they're fine now, aren't they? Those mediums will get them to the rain.
Joey runs wide. Doesn't get his first penalty. Maybe he didn't gain as much as advantage. Codemasters is an interesting organisation at creating Formula 1 games, as we've seen so far. You see it a lot in
Penalties awful around this track, aren't they? Absolutely atrocious.
You see it a lot in Cup Series, with the glitches, with the timing, and the disconnects from the commentators. Not here, and Jacko, it's so far going very smoothly.
Don't say anything. We do want this kind of... Oh, you're almost on the grass there. We want this kind of trouble-free race on Thursday when we head to North America. Who's your pick for that one, by the way? Who's winning that? I mean, being a speed man, you've got to say
I want
Matthew,
Red Matt to win. Obviously, it's all guns out for Red Matt. I might put Kieran. If I say Kieran in his place, Mr. Loudmouth of the weekend. I really wanted to put him in his place after Abu Dhabi, but it just went against.
Well, I will remind you, we are live here.
Yeah, we are live indeed. When will the rain fall is the question. Will Yuri's tyres be able to hang on? This is the risk he's taken, pitting at the end of lap 6 from mediums. He decided to get the harder compound out of the way and looking to run the softer one to the rain. Maybe was expecting a safety car to make the weather catch up, but
and here it is.
It is here. I got a little glitch on my screen. And the rain begins to fall. When will it be ready for intermediates? If it is at all gonna be wet enough for the wet tyres.
And Quinn just coming up to the back of Kaya here as well. Of course, Kaya caused problems earlier on for one of the drivers. I can't remember who. But he does the same as what he did for Yuri. Gets out of the way of Quinn. The gap down to 6.1, 6.2 though.
Yeah, you're losing the back of Gareth. Gap's now 1.3.
I think the rain is coming at the right time for Yuri as well, isn't it? These tyres, he's had the best of them.
Yeah, this could be tricky because with the interchangeable conditions and the infamous turn 8, if you spin there in the dry, what's going to happen if you're on dry tyres on a wet track? You're probably going to spin.
Yes, you are. I'm just watching Quinn go through turn 8 now. Keeps it together. I reckon we've got another lap at least of dry tyre running.
Yuri has a strong middle sector because he was 1.4 behind Gareth and now back within DRS. Is that a lap car off ahead?
That'd be Kaya.
Kaya. I have been informed that Kaya is trying to help Yuri and Quinn, by the way.
Interesting.
So watch out for what Kaya will try and do to help Yuri.
Kaya's going to pit.
Never mind.
Not that helpful.
it helps the stewards in case there was an incident to come out of it. But he pits, gets out of the way. DRS still enabled.
And it is for Inters, Pete. Kaya's stop is for Inters. Nils pits as well.
Ooh. So, well, Nils is on really old mediums, so what does he do? He's Inters as well.
Well then. Here we go.
It's a risk, and it could be the risk worth taking. I think Kaya's boxed to maybe give some intel to Yuri and Quinn. I understand they might be in the same party as well. We'll see how Kaya develops for the conditions. It's just understeering.
Looks too dry, doesn't it? It's
way
too dry.
Too dry for Inters. Oh, there's another one in as well. Newgarden's probably doing the same strategy for the speed guys. Seeing whether it is wet enough for them. Splinter will come by Newgarden, and Splinter goes up to 9th, and it's not paying off for Nils as he picks up his 3rd penalty. I think this is what cost him last time, was penalties at Bahrain.
I was just watching him through turn 4 there, and he just understeered wide. It's not the right tyre. Kingen now gets past him on the old mediums. So it is too early still. Quinn pits. Is this the right time?
I was waiting. I was just sat here watching Quinn crawl into the pits as you were commenting on Niels' performance on those tyres. He's on inters.
Oh.
Yellow flag sector 3. Kaya on those inters, struggling. Maybe just letting everyone through. This could be an issue.
I think it's too early for Quinn. I think that's too soon.
Another yellow flag. Indecisive, just letting people through as well. Gareth and Yuri sticking it out there. Quinn had a comfortable lead. He had a 6-second lead.
Oh
Is it
my!
going to get wet enough?
Baz is struggling through turn 1.
This could cost Quinn. Baz is on dry
Yeah.
tyres, so it could be the crossover. Kingdon's struggling on dry tyres as well to keep it within track limits. Yellow flag sector 1. I think that's Kaya letting through Jess and Cloud. Cloud's on the inters, Jess on the mediums. What we're saying now then, Jacko? Oh, Yuri's loose on the exit.
I'm waiting for the DRS notification to say it's no longer available, but Gareth and Yuri, they are struggling now up front. I think this could be the time now. Quinn, 1 lap too soon. I think this is it. You've got to come in now, boys. Otherwise, it's going to be 1 lap too late. Or does Yuri want to give himself one more shot with a DRS? Gareth defends again. More yellow flags for Indecisive at the back. He's gone off at the final turn. And that's Noah around as well. Oh, Indecisive pits.
I stayed on board with Yuri there. He nearly lost the back end through turn 1. Gave it everything to try and keep the grip there. DRS is still enabled, but as you mentioned, if the crossover point happens now, they're going to have to do half a lap at least to get back to the pits. But at the moment, they are both pulling away from Quinn. The gap was 17, it's now 21, which means he only has 2-second buffer left before...
Yeah, but Pete, my biggest concern for these guys is if a safety car comes out now with so many cars going off the road, you know, it's championship over for them, because they're going to have to stay on their dry tyres until the safety car finishes. Look how many yellow flags are coming out. Noah's out of the race, but I think he's done it in the pit lane. There's a safety car!
He crashed in the pit lane. He did crash it in the pit lane. And there's... Oh dear. Oh, Jacko. Oh, no.
I was just saying it. I was just saying it.
Jess is in the pits.
And
he switched onto the tyres. I think that's a legal pit stop. Drive-through for Quinn!
There's a drive-through for Quinn!
For speeding under the safety car!
Oh, my...
Splinter
well, where's Niels in all
could
this?
still win this, but he's on dry tyres, is Splinter. Where's Niels?
It's Niels.
Niels is on inters. He does have 9 seconds of penalties, but Quinn has a drive-through. Gareth, Yuri and Splinter will need to box for intermediate tyres. I guarantee you, folks, that this championship is not over yet. We'll have 10
laps to go. Oh my, well. So, Gareth, Yuri and Jamie have all been saved by Quinn's penalty. Or his drive-through. Alright, he's only got to do a drive-through.
Yeah.
But, you know, if the other 3 are better in the wet, they'll catch that up. And Niels, 9 seconds of penalties, but he's not going to have to make another pit stop. He's on the right tyre. He did pit too early, but he saved himself 22 seconds or something like that. This is unbelievable, Pete.
This is unbelievable.
We did say anything and everything will happen, and it's happened.
Yep. And crucial to note as well, Niels doesn't have anyone to worry about in front of him. Bazza and Kingdom are on the wrong tyres. They're going to need to box. Gareth and Yuri will have to box. He's going to have to be careful though, because on the restart, it's going to be slippy for the drivers on the dry tyres.
Yep. And just to tell everyone the rule, you must meet a certain criteria of damage or have a puncture to allow yourself to pit under the safety car. None of these guys have that. So they all have to do 1 green flag lap when the safety car goes in. They cannot follow it in. I think Niels is in a great position here.
As long as he can keep it within the white lines. He hasn't done so far, but one of those penalties was during the crossover point when he put those tyres first on, struggling with the grip. And you can just see that Bazza can't catch up. Bazza can't catch up. He's losing time to the safety car.
And
so's
the
Kingham.
only saving grace, sorry Pete, the only saving grace for Quinn is that he is on the Inters already.
Yes.
So he can do his one green flag lap fairly quickly.
I don't think we're catching up.
up.
I don't think we're going to catch up because Kingham is 15 seconds behind Bazza, and Bazza is 20 seconds behind Quinn. Maybe they'll start to catch up now because of the straight. They'll go a lot quicker. But the corners, it's going to be really tricky for the guys on the dries to catch up.
This is very much Nils versus Quinn at this point, I think.
Definitely. I can agree.
And how on earth are... I mean, who have we got? We've got Splinter, we've got Kingham, Bazza, Yuri and Gareth. How are those 5 going to get on this one green flag lap? Getting around this notably low traction track on old tyres. It's going to be carnage.
Oh, is
and
that a little bit of
here.
a dig, Jacko? I heard those words. I won't repeat it in plain English what you were pointing out, but yes, it's going to be an issue for Gareth and Yuri on that restart. Gareth gets to decide when to go. Drivers have been warned where they can go. There's no grid slots between the finish line and where there would be a restart point, so we've identified an orange barrier on the left hand side. The end of that will see the restart window open, and then it's up to the finish line. The driver can decide between that green zone when they will launch. I think Quinn will get the best restart, but it'll be up to Nils to try and take advantage. They should catch up. I think they should.
They should, shouldn't they?
I don't think Splinter will, though.
Where is he? I don't know. If they time it right, by the time the safety car goes in, he can just absolutely launch it.
Oh, what are you doing, Nils? You're on the safety car! I've just watched that happen. He ran wide out of the final corner. Just crossed the white line. That's 12 seconds of penalties now to his name. Nils, you're throwing it away. Throwing it away. A drive-through is not that much of an issue for Quinn now.
No.
Because it's not a pit stop. It's less time down the pit lane. But I assume, along with pit stops, he will only allow to serve it after one green flag running lap.
Yes, he cannot follow the safety car in. Likewise, nobody can follow the safety car in.
Unless you have a puncture or significant damage or blah, blah, blah.
So if you've got a very handy teammate behind you who's willing to give you a puncture and let go of their race...
That's too much risk, because if you're hitting the back end of a car, now there's weird stability damage that can ruin the car's performance. A track where you need the downforce for the undulations. Oh, boys, it's going to be spicy.
Well, I think back to the restart we had here in the Cup Series earlier on this season, and that was spicy.
Yeah, that was carnage.
So spicy that we saw a 30-second penalty handed out, and the win awarded to your teammate, Mr. Ben Iceman Shaw.
Iceman, yeah. And still didn't make the Championship 5, and had the performance to blow everyone away in Monaco, but the internet didn't hold up. Moved away from uni that 1 week too early. But Gareth is going to get this restart on the way very, very slowly. Is Gareth?
What's going to happen here?
Maybe the traction could be a bit of an issue as well. But Quinn should get the best launch. So you're looking for that orange barrier on your left. The end of that is the green zone up to the line. And we're back under green flag running. Queen.
But look at Quinn.
Oh, maybe he got an illegal overtake on Yuri.
He did.
And he's lost the position to Bazza, who's on dry tyres as well. Nils is trying to take advantage of the inside down towards turn 1. It's 3 wide, 4 wide, Bazza's round. And that could bring out another safety car.
Quinn's hit
in
Gareth.
the lead. Oh my
Quinn hit Gareth. There's wing damage. He's got wing damage.
Who?
Quinn. Quinn.
Oh, he has. Yellow flag sector 1. 2 drivers round. Cloud and Bazza. Yuri's now back up to second with Quinn with that damage. Not only is he going to have to serve a drive-through. He's got to do a wing change. So I think that will prioritise his pit stop. Will Quinn.
Oh, look at the lead. Nils is on his way, Pete.
Yeah, he shoved it up the inside into turn 1. He did Nils. I watched that unfold. Made it 3 wide. And has the chance to do what he couldn't do last season. And take it all the way.
That's so slow. Return 8. Here comes Newgarden up into P4. Around the outside of teammate Yori. No. I think he's going to protect him, maybe. You're part of team speed. Nope. He goes around him.
I think
go and hunt down Nils.
Yeah. Nils will be an opportunity. He's got no penalties. He may win the race. But
has he ever won a Kia Series race, Newgarden? I don't think he has.
He's won a JACKOCAR race. He's got a podium, I think. I think he got a podium in Monaco Season 1. But he hasn't taken the top step, has Newgarden. Had the opportunity at Canada Season 2 when he had 20 seconds of time. But it was Kingdom goes spinning round on those mediums out of the penultimate corner. And the drivers on the inters are on the right tyres. Quinn is in.
So, is this it's a pit stop? So it will still leave him with a drive-through after this.
Yeah. This is not good for Quinn's championship. Another safety car is going to be required. He had a flag at the final corner.
I think... Oh, it's Splinter. He's missed the pit lane. Splinter's missed the pit lane, Pete.
Oh, no. He's going to have to do another lap.
No.
He spun out the final corner. I think that could be Splinter's championship well and truly over. He's going to have to do another lap on a wet track. Old 25 lap old medium tyres as Quinn comes out ahead of him after getting a fresh win.
Newgarden spun. Oh.
It's all kicking off. Jess is up
Jess
to
is P2.
Jess could win this race if she can keep it within Nils' penalties. But at the moment, 16 seconds. Nils is on course not only to take the championship, as there's another spinner. Splinter is round on those mediums.
Oh, he's got a puncher. Front left puncher for Splinter. It goes from bad to worse, and I think you can safely say now his Championship 5 is over.
He's bringing out some yellow flags. He's got Bazza and Cloud on the back of him.
Bazza to the outside! Oh no!
Bazza don't know. He just doesn't know. Bazza doesn't know he's got a front left puncture. Oi, got to keep it out of the wall. But it's safe to say that is Splinter's Championship 5 run over. I don't think he will be taking a victory in the championship yet again, as he gets a 3-second time penalty as the cherry on top.
Oh wow, well this race has come alive, hasn't it? 4 to go here in the Kia Series. Newgarden with a 10-second penalty, but he's going to try and be the best teammate possible for the likes of Quinn and Yori. More yellow flags. I think it's Splinter. Nils is extending his lead, however, over Jess. He might have this wrapped up. Quinn serving his drive-through. Oh, heartbreak. Yori goes past into P4. So, what can Yori do? That's the big question. Can Yori close that gap enough and win this championship?
Have you seen the gap?
I have seen it.
44 seconds lap.
Have you seen this race, though?
I have seen.
Have you seen this race?
I have been watching this race.
12 seconds, of course. He doesn't need to catch up.
Still,
that will be covered by the game. It's a long way, isn't it?
Oh, another yellow flag. Indecisive is round. This is basically the last chance for a safety car to come out. Wait, why has it gone to lap 27? Oh, no,
because he's been lapped twice.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's on lap 27. Yeah, there's only one opportunity for a safety car to come out now. As Nils crosses the line to start lap 30. He's got 4 more laps to complete, and he will be crowned as a JACKOCAR champion.
Oh, remember earlier on in the race when he let Yori go and we were so surprised by that? It's paid off, hasn't it? Right tyre, right time. Lucky safety car. And that's just what this league can do. Indecisive lets a train of cars go by. The gap is 19, 20 seconds on Jess. I think he might be safe here.
It looks to be that way. I thought the race was going to get a little bit boring, no offence, because of all the drivers being separated by such a large margin. The safety car, at the right time, has thrown a spanner in the works, and a driver who was clearly out of it because of the number of penalties he picked up chose to box early in the first stint, chose the box early for the intermediates, and has played it to perfection. Not only is he on course at the moment to take the crown away from Estimatz, but he's going to win the race, as Estimatz did in Bahrain as well. A champion's drive, some would say, and it will be one to be remembered. And this will be his first race? I got a wisp. Jonathan Wass. First race victory of the season for Niels, and he's going to do it at the perfect time.
I think it also is his second, or would be his second win in Kia, but also the first time JACKOCAR has seen a chase champion. We've been talking about it in Cup, haven't we, the last couple of weeks? Can it happen? Will it ever happen? And Niels extends his lead over Jess. It might just happen. Pete Knighton.
It could indeed. Yellow flags again in Sector 3. There's 2 round. That might be Kingan, who's got 17. Everyone's getting like 10 seconds of penalties. Left, right, and centre. Indecisive was round yet again. I believe everybody's on the intermediates now. They are. Splinter had to make another pit. Finally made that pit stop after the puncture. And I think he is a lap down. He is indeed, because the car behind him on track, I believe, is Yuri. And that is, without a doubt, Splinter's Championship 5 over. But there's a little bit of racing happening between Kingan and Cloud going side by side. And Cloud ahead. Yuri wants to, Quinn wants to follow it through. That's the mistake of speeding on the safety car. Wide. Lily lost the car. Lily took out Quinn. That was close.
And that was close. It's safe to say Quinn lost this championship with that contact into turn 3. How much will he rue that? Yuri's gap is still 44 seconds, technically 32 seconds. And it's 2 to go. 1.5 to go.
It is.
It's in the bag, isn't it?
It pretty much is. There's not going to be any more safety cars. The only person that can stop Niels from winning this race is Niels himself. And hopefully he can keep it nice and calm and casual. No reason to push. 23-second gap behind. No one in sight on track. He's got Kaya. He's coming up to the back of Kaya. Oh dear, this could get spicy. But hopefully it doesn't get in the mix. Is that indecisive?
Indecisive. Yeah, he's letting cars go. That's Baz as the next one. There he goes.
This is going to finish the race. He's indecisive. So then, Niels. Yuri picks up a penalty. I think that's Yuri's championship definitely over now.
That's gone.
I wasn't really making any inroads. It's 44 seconds still the gap to Niels, so it didn't matter how new the Inters were. Niels had the wet pace, and I've known Niels for a while now, and he is a fan of driving in the wet. His wet pace is a lot better than his dry, more consistent, and proving it here at a crucial time.
Yep.
1 lap to go then, Jacko, as he crosses the line to start lap 33. Just got to keep it.
Just absolutely amazing what this league can deliver with this rule set and this rules package and these drivers and the weather, everything. It gives us an absolute crazy mix, crazy races all season long. I know I've not been here for half of them. Niels can pick up another few penalties if he wants, but he's 2/3 of a lap to go from being the JACKOCAR Kia Series champion. What a season. Coming into this, he's the only driver without a race win, but it doesn't matter. Championship 5 last season, didn't quite get the job done in Bahrain, but he's come to Portimao and he's gone to work and he's going to get paid at the end of the day. Unbelievable drive from the man from the Netherlands.
It is indeed.
What a race.
Coming in as an underdog as well. He was like 4th favourite on form and the past 4 races because he DNF'd at Austria. He did have a massive points gap to the cars behind in the chase. Was the most consistent driver in the chase and has delivered it here in Portimao. Only one more corner to navigate. He's got loads of EOS. He's got loads of time to the cars behind him. Niels up to the finish line. Is your JACKOCAR Kia Series champion. And Newgarden may try and snatch second place from Jess. But huge congratulations to Niels. This was going to be for Yuri. But this right here is for you, Niels. I'm sorry, Jacko, but you're going to have to deal with this.
That's not a problem at all. Well,
right, that's enough of that.
Is it? Yeah. Is it Super Max or is it Super Nils? He
It's
couldn't
Super Nils.
quite get it done in the dry. He had the penalties. Everything was against him. Safety car come out. He went too early onto the intermediate tyre, but it paid off. It paid off. Jess, by the way, secured P2, her best ever JACKOCAR result. Newgarden P3, Gareth P4, Yuri coming home P5. It very nearly could have been him. Chris or Cloud P6, Quinn dominated in the dry, and well, it didn't quite come together in the wet. Bazza P8, Kingham P9, Splinter Championship 5 driver down in P10, and he was there the entire race. And I missed the other 3 drivers. Noah Clark retired, Kaya indecisive.
Newgarden driver today, coming from, I think it was 12th to 3rd. Good drive from him. But the man who's going to be remembered in this race is that man right there. It may not look like Niels, but it is him in spirit, in animation. He will be crowned champion, and with that, we may see him enter Cup Series next season, if he's going to continue racing. He's a man in form, and a good race for him. Jess on the podium, best finish of the season. Second podium of the season as well for Jess. And surprise package all season for Jess. Could see her as a Championship 5 contender in Season 3. You never know. So Neil's your champion, even with 12 seconds worth of penalties. There are a lot of crazier things to happen. Niels is your champion. Jess and Newgarden share the podium with him, as did Lewis and Carlos Sainz in Abu Dhabi. Gareth takes home second place, essentially, in the championship with Yuri in third. Quinn, with that speeding on the safety car and damage at turn 1 on the restart, cost him the championship. He had it all in the bag. He had the lead, and then the weather took a turn for the worse for him. Bazza in 8th, King in 9th. Splinter will finish in 10th after a dramatic race for him. Puncture galore, not a race to remember for Splinter. Kaya, an indecisive. Final finishers. Noah, the only retirement, and the reason we got such a dramatic end of the race.
I'll tell you what, you never would have thought that was a 13-car race, would you?
Nope.
The amount of yellow flags we had, unbelievable. Mr. Knighton, we get to do it all over again on Thursday, 7 p.m. Kota. The Cup Series returns, but I shall let you lead us out after this incredible Portugal Grand Prix.
It was indeed incredible. Kia Series delivering once again, and I hope that myself and the rest of the Cup Series drivers can put on another great show. Even though I'm not fighting for the Championship 5, I'm going to try and help who I want to win the Championship 5 race. A lot of quick drivers.
Who that is.
Anyone could win. We'll soon find out. Be sure to tune in on Thursday. That's it for Season 2 of Kia Series. I'm sure keep an eye on JACKOCAR's Twitter for any updates for next season. If there is one, who knows? But Thursday, 7 o'clock, Owen is back. He should have been here, but it'll be Owen and Jacko, the dynamic duo in the box. Any special guests?
And Gareth Hall. Gareth Hall.
And Gareth Hall. Ooh.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting if he'd have won the championship and gone into the box. But he can bring forward his experience from this race going into that Grand Prix at USA. So I'm going to end it here. It's been a great season. And it's been a pleasure commentating with you, Jacko.
Yeah, not bad, was it? First time ever. You never would have thought that we were doing that, but maybe again one time.
Yeah, who knows?
Never know.
We'll never know. As we never know who's going to win a JACKOCAR race, we'll never know whether this duo will come together again in a commentary box, but who knows? You'll have to tune in and find out next season. Thank you all for watching, and take care of yourselves.